Transitions are an essential piece to video editing. They combine separate scenes together in a way that can be obvious, seamless, and sometimes unnoticeable. While there are a lot of transitions, many people, myself included, seem to rely on presets or drag and drop ones. Sometimes these can be super helpful while still looking pretty nice. But if you add too many in your video quickly starts to feel amateur and lacks intention. That's why in today's music video hacks, we're talking all about transitions and how to creatively and effectively plan them out for your videos. Stay tuned. My name is Austin Prescott. I'm a music video director for my company AP Productions, and I'm also a filmmaker and video producer in the corporate world. I always take the time to explain my background to reassure my audience that these informative videos are just my tips and my strategies. And that being said, it is important to make your own style and to craft your own path, because if you don't, you'll just be tagged in with all the other video directors. Make sure you're constantly adding your personal touch to your videos and making them the best that you think that they can be. Before I talk about transitions and a creative way to make them, I need to first give you the definition of a transition. So I have it right here. A transition is a post-production technique used in film or video editing to connect one shot to another. Often, when a filmmaker wants to join two shots together, they use a basic cut where the first image is instantly replaced with the next image. The transitions kind of go in between that area, so instead of it being a hard cut, as you see right here, it's more of a smooth overlay or a crossfade, or basically a transition connects two shots together in a way that's more pleasant to the eyes. So this video is simply only to get you thinking and talking about creative transitions. So while I have examples and I'll be spitting out some words of specific transitions, I will not fully be breaking down how to get them. It's simply opening your mind to different options and navigating which ones you might like better, so then you can deep dive and find out exactly how to make that specific transition. That being said, the first transition I want to talk to is one of my favorite, probably an AP Productions trademark. It's the masking transitions. So you might be sitting there wondering, like, Austin, what is masking? Hold on, I'm about to tell you. So masking is very similar to what people call photoshopping an image. It's basically you can take things in and out of the frame by cutting them out. So in programs like Premiere Pro and After Effects, you're gonna wanna grab your pen tool. In Premiere, it's located under the opacity setting, and in After Effects, you can just hit the G key. So once you've created your mask layer, you need to connect the dots of what you wanna crop out. I'm gonna show a quick example right here of a quick mask. After that, when you have your mask, you can then add other layers on top and underneath to then create somewhat of a seamless transition. You can make it start with it being a full image, and then you can erase the mask and zoom in to a certain object. I do this a lot with TVs, windows, and just other objects in the frame I find interesting that I might want to go through. Now, masking can get a lot more complicated than that. You can mask out an image and have it walk through the frame onto another frame. You can push things. You can get super complex with this. But the simple tool that you need to know is what a mask is, and then you can expand on that even more. Another technique for transitions is called speed ramping. And you've probably already heard about this before. It's a very common technique. It's essentially when a clip goes from normal pace to fast pace, goes to the next clip in fast pace, and slows down to normal pace, thus creating this ramping effect that has a very nice transition style. And this is really helpful too when there's a lot of movement at the beginning of the clips. If your clip is static, like this shot on a tripod, and you speed ramp it, it's really only gonna make me move really fast. It's not really gonna have that cool effect of sliding into the next frame. Another transition is called the whip pan. Now this one is an in-camera transition, meaning that you have to be thinking while you're shooting about the transitions and about the clips that you want to connect. You can whip to the left, you can whip to the right, up, down, diagonally. You can have someone else catch it. You want to be thinking about the shot you're currently filming and the one that you're going to connect to. For instance, if my subject is walking from the right to the left, and I want to follow them into the next clip, I'm going to move my camera to the left. And then when that clip is done, in the next clip, I'm going to have my subject start on the right, and I'm going to move my camera from the right to the left. And when I link them together, it should be going in one solid motion. Now this can get a little tricky when you're thinking about opposites. If you pan up, then you want to make sure that in the next clip, if you're trying to come from the bottom, you pan up, and from the top to bottom, you want to pan down. You definitely need to be thinking analytically on each clip and how you want them to connect, because it's important that you make that motion in camera, because if you don't in post-production, your life's going to be a lot harder to make it feel more seamless. Another transition is the ghost transition, or ghosting. You've definitely probably seen this in a ton of music videos before. Sometimes it can be really overused. I've been known to overuse it myself. You don't want to just be throwing transitions in because you're like, oh, this video needs effects, this video needs spice. You want to be effectively planning them out so that each time someone sees a transition, they're like, wow, I didn't even see that coming. Now the ghosting transition is a transition that has a huge roof. It has tons of room to be creative with. But the most basic form of it is this. You're gonna have two clips on top of each other. The first one is gonna play normally, and then when you want the transition to start, you're gonna cut right there. You're gonna take the part that's cut and you're gonna lower the opacity to around 50, 60%, whatever you think feels comfortable, but you're gonna leave the bottom clip at 100%, and then when you play it back, it's gonna add this kind of ghost effect on top that then takes it away and goes into the next clip really fast. Another good example of creative transitions you can think about are blending transitions. So if you don't know what blending modes are, it's a type of layering style that you can do with your video clips on top of each other. So if you have one on top of another, you can take the top clip and you can change the blending mode to screen, dissolve, color diffusion, whichever you want. There's a whole list of them. So the really cool thing about this is when you start to bring in video overlays and different layers on top of your original clip. You can use the blending mode to do all sorts of different things. If you have a glitch on a black background and you set the top clip to screen, now you have glitches on top of your original footage that weren't there in the beginning. I encourage you to check out all the different blending modes because they all do different things. I could do another video on each blending mode, but that would take a lot of time. So to keep it short, just make sure that you're checking out these blending modes with your different video layers because it might create something from nothing. A lot of times when I don't know exactly what type of transition to do, I'll just get some overlays I really like, put them on top, and I'll see what all the blending modes do to that footage because you never know what you're gonna get. All right, another transition type that I really like is the photo transition. I don't know the correct term for this, but basically I use photos in replacement of the transition. So it may be a video file of an artist singing in a specific location, and then cut to close-up pictures of the artist in that location, and then the next location, then forming the next video clip of the artist in the new location. I'll show you some clips real quick about ones that I've done. So one really cool thing about transitions is you don't have to just pick one. You can blend some together. You can take some of these blending mode transitions, a ghosting transition, a masking transition, and you can put them all into one transition. Have all these things layer on top of each other, and sometimes those are the most beautiful ones I've ever seen. So I know we went over a lot of transitions, and I know you're sitting there thinking like, I don't even know how to start with planning them. And you don't really need to plan out every single transition. Leave room for some creative inspiration when you get into post-production. But if you're trying to make a very complex video and there's a lot of different scenes, maybe between each scene, try to really think about how you can creatively break down a transition to bring the scenes together. I always take my treatment, and before I'm shooting, I try to connect all the scenes with some type of transition, and I try to at least film a couple, like in camera, just to have on file. I might not use all of them, but it's definitely important to have them because you never know where they might fit in. I know I said to refrain from some drag and drop transitions, and I'm mainly talking about the ones that are in the program. You can find others that creatives such as myself have made and they sell on the marketplace. People like Justin Odisho, Max Novak, and many others, the Buff Nerds, etc. have tons of different transition templates that you can pay for, or some are free, and you can download them and then drag and drop with little tweaks that you want to add. If you want to change the color of something, change the blur, the speed, they give you tutorials and breakdowns of how to change all of their transition templates. Now, I'm not telling you to just go out and buy hundreds of dollars worth of transition templates. That's not going to make your video better. What makes it better is if you can use those templates in your own creative style. So if you like someone's style specifically and maybe it goes along with yours, maybe buy their template. And then when you get it into your program, don't just simply drag and drop. Try to mesh them with your own style, your own clips, where you think it will fit in the most appropriately. If you're thinking about transitions like this, all your scenes are going to connect amazingly. I covered a lot in this video and I didn't really get too in depth into anything, but that's the beauty of transitions, is you really need to create your own style. I can give you tips and tricks all day, but unless you're in the program playing with all these and actually learning what you like the best, you're not really going to get a better video. It's all about creating style and building upon that. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. Austin, or AP Productions, signing off once again. If you enjoyed this video, I highly encourage you to drop a like and also subscribe. Hit that bell too if you don't want to miss the next video. I usually post about once a week. If you are wanting to learn a specific tip or strategy or learn something about one of my videos, the best way to reach me is in the comments of this video. I read all of them and I try to get back to everyone. I hope you guys make some cool transitions and send me any links to your work that you did that you got inspiration from this video. Thanks, guys.